Jordan. A spectacular move.
Be clear.
Bring it home, Kobe, baby. Oh, he came up behind him like a librarian. He never heard him.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Casual Fan Experience. Just myself today. I'll be interviewing a young up-and-coming Australian boxing prospect, Jordan Laruccia. Currently 5-0, headlining Thunderdome 43 on September 1st for the vacant Australian Super Welterweight, Australasian Super Welterweight Title. So without further ado, Jordan. Obviously, first off, thanks for coming on and joining us. But I want to start, I guess both at the beginning. So obviously soccer was a bit of the background and obviously the initial, passion or dream of where you wanted to go with it. Talk me through the process going from soccer to boxing, because they're pretty different, sports to say.
Yeah. So pretty much, I started playing soccer coming from an Italian family, so that's obviously what majority of the kids do. So I started playing soccer at the age, I think it would have been like 6 years old or 7 years old, like real young age. Yeah. And then I just played it for fun at that age, obviously. And then as I progressed and went down the line, I was a striker initially, and then I moved into the position of goalkeeper because I found out that I was quite naturally good at it. So started training with a few professional coaches and stuff like that. And then it brought me all the way up to the point of getting scouted for a trial over in Europe and stuff like that, and having a trial with Juve and all that sort of thing. So that was a great experience. And then after that, I came back here, and I was still pursuing a professional career in soccer, but unfortunately, there's a lot of things that play a part, man, like politics, just a few things that just weren't working in my favor as well. So after that, I decided to pretty much hang the goalkeeper gloves up and was looking for something new to start. And then I stumbled upon big rigs, and I was a cleaner when I first started there. So I was just helping out around the gym, help set up the gym, clean around the gym and stuff like that. And then it sort of progressively moved on to, me starting to train more and then starting to spar. And then, we had COVID and stuff, and I had one exhibition fight and all that sort of thing. But the thing that I brought over from my soccer career would be because goalkeeping, you're the only person in that. There's only one person on the pitch, like one position. That's you're the only guy. So it can, even though you're in a team sport and in a team environment, you feel isolated in a sense. So that was one thing that I was able to bring over from soccer, was that high pressure. Of like I'm really the one, even though the team play as a team, I'm the one that can dictate whether we win or we lose. And that's the thing that I sort of have carried on with my boxing career. Like at the end of the day, yes, you come up against good opponents and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it depends how hard I want to work, how hard I want to push, and how hard I want to go, to dictate whether I'm going to win or whether I'm going to lose. So,
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much the story of really changing from soccer to boxing.
Yeah, that's sick, man. It's obviously a bit of a different sport, but it's cool hearing people come from those different backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there a moment during, I guess, those early days of training and stuff where you're like, oh, you know what, like I really like this boxing, or was it sort of like a bit of a slow burn, or?
So, look, when I first started, it was pretty slow, but when I first walked into a boxing gym, I was like, cool, like I'm interested in having a fight. Like I want to be, I want to be a cool, like, it'd be cool to be on a show and all that sort of stuff. But I think my real passion was sparked. I helped out on one of the Thunderdome shows. And I was just handing gloves to all the fighters that were on the show and making sure that they all got the right gloves. So just helping out the event. And just sitting ringside and seeing these guys, just go at it and fight each other, and like the blood, the sweat, you know, everything that they were putting everything into these moments, you know, and it sort of just got me and said, you know what, like I want to be one of these guys. Like I want to be this guy that, you know, laces up the gloves, gets in the ring, you know, and can show everyone what you're made of, pretty much, you know. So for me, that was when really like the spark sort of initiated for me, and then from there it's just been training hard ever since, and working as hard as I can to get as get as good as I can, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trying to like I'm not the type of guy that goes I've never been the guy that's like, oh, like put unnecessary pressures on myself. So I'm not like I want to be, you know, world champion or this and that. I'm very much here for, you know, see where it goes, see where it takes me, take one fight at a time, one step at a time. Obviously not having an amateur background as well. So, you know, yeah, like just easing into everything, you know what I mean? And just giving my 100% in that moment, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The amateur background, that was actually leading on to something else I was going to ask about. Obviously, without that, I suppose you probably find yourself at times learning a bit more on the fly than some of the, I guess, the other guys that come through and have that amateur background. How have you found that going straight to the pros, and what was the decision process behind that, I guess?
Yeah. So look, like with look, I'm surrounded by amazing boxers every day out of big rigs, and guys that are coming in and out of big rigs for sparring and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, with the amateur circuit, there was a time where we were looking at going on to do that and to get some experience under my belt. But unfortunately, with COVID and all that sort of thing, it was hard to fight because there was no fight shows happening, and there was like a year and a half, almost 2 years layover where there was nothing going on. So, but in those 2 years, we just really knuckled down and trained hard, and I just sparred with various people, you know, whether it's an amateur, whether it was a beginner, whether it was someone that had 30 professional fights or 10 professional fights or whatever, you know, like all different walks of boxing. So, for me, that was the thought process, was that, okay, look, I can't fight the amateurs, or I can't do the amateur circuit, and also fighting, training out of a professional gym, because most of the guys out of big rigs are professional boxers. So, you know, I can't do the amateur circuit. That's cool. No worries. I'm going to go, for, you know, go professional straight away and just make sure I'm 100% prepared, you know, do a lot of hard sparring in the gym and a lot of simulated fights and stuff like that to allow me to gain that experience as well in the ring. And I've still got, oh man, we all got so much to learn, you know what I mean? Even the guys at the top, are still learning every day. So, you know, but that was the thought process behind not going to the amateurs and just going professional.
Yeah, nice. Speaking of big rigs, obviously, as you said, like a lot of super high quality fighters in there and coming through there and whatnot. Was there a moment early when you first started to get into it where you sort of got in it, whether it be a spar or a session, that like in particular you went, oh shit, this is for real?
Yeah, look, one of my favorite guys, and he's gonna laugh when he hears this. Steve Gago. He's a top southpaw. Fought obviously internationally as well as over like various places in Australia. The first time where I was actually hurt in a sparring session, he got me with a liver shot, and that was the first time. Like, obviously, I'm a bit better conditioned now, but that was the first time I actually got hit and I got dropped. And I thought to myself, you don't play this stuff, you know. You can't play that feeling of you know, just having no breath left in you and feeling like you've been stabbed, essentially. You know, it's you know, it's a crappy feeling. So but that was really the first sparring session. But to be honest, I still got up, we still kept going, and you know, it really pushed me onto that next level. Okay, look, so I need to do this to defend that, or I need to condition this or do that. So, but that was really probably the first time I sparred someone that I was like, okay, like this is crazy, you know, like this is hard. So yeah.
Talking about obviously Thunderdome and what that brings, I actually watched the last one. Was the first time I'd watched one of the Thunderdome ones personally, and like, talk us through. Obviously, you've been involved in a few of them. It just seems like a really cool, like, event for, I guess, like the group that's there. Talk us through, I guess, your experience with the Thunderdome ones and how
Yeah.
they sort of run for yourself.
Yeah, look, like so I'm obviously managed by Tony
Yep.
Tolge, and he runs the Dragonfire the Thunderdome event. And look, it's an amazing platform, especially it's the only platform for professional fighters in Perth to be able to showcase what they've got and showcase the skills that they've got, as well as actually get professional fights in. But yeah, like I've had an amazing time on the show, just with everyone, with the support, you know, from everything, with the atmosphere, with all the people there, the way that it's set up, the walkouts, all that sort of stuff. It's all done really well. So yeah, it's been great on the Thunderdome shows, and Tony does a really good job of teeing up all the fights and teeing up good quality opponents and even opponents, really. So yeah, so it's been great.
Sick. Obviously, speaking of the last Thunderdome, just on 42, made pretty quick work of that one. Only the 23 seconds.
Yeah.
Was, I guess, like as I said, I was watching it, and I guess my question about that was, what do you take away from something that ends so quickly? Is there something you can really take away from it, or is it just onto the next?
Look, with that one there, look, it was at a point where, like, so I'd had about almost 10 months off due to a knee injury. So that one there, I was actually kind of looking to want to go the distance and get the rounds out of my belt, get everything moving again. Maybe, you know, like still finish him in the later rounds, but still get that time under my belt. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. You can only be as good as the opponent they put in front of you. So you can only learn as much as the person in front of you is willing to give you, if that makes sense. So I didn't take much away from that fight. It was good to get the obviously, like, the nerves out and the sort of like rust, I guess, of like not being on a show for a little while. But apart from that, I didn't take much. And to be honest, at the end of the day, like, on paper, that opponent was good. He was good, and he was he looked he was over in Indonesia. He had a couple of fights and all that. But at the end of the day, you don't know how this international opponent is going to be like until they get into the ring with you, or until weigh in or whatnot. So it was just an unfortunate circumstance, but yeah, we just move on. We keep building, and yeah, we learn, and that's it.
Absolutely. How was the experience coming back from the injury in terms of, you know, how was the build up to the fight? Was it feeling good? Just obviously, yeah, getting that rust off, and what was the process there?
Yeah, so for that fight, it was hard because I was supposed to fight at the start of the year as well, and I was still having a couple of problems with the knee, and I wasn't 100% confident in it to be able to move, just in case it was going to give way mid fight or whatnot, and I wasn't able to train up to what I'd like to say, like 100%, like, so I could be 100% for a fight. So it was a long process to get it back to where it is, but we did a 13-week camp. It still niggled me here and there, but then eventually, slowly, it got better and better. And now I don't even feel it. I don't have a problem with it. So yeah, it was a bit of a process, but we just kept training hard, kept building up to it. We had a slightly longer camp, which helped a lot. So it allowed me to get my fitness back up as well. So it was yeah, like it ended up working out fine. Like it was the knee feels great now. Yeah,
good stuff. Moving to obviously the next fight, so Thunderdome 43, you've got the Fenno Corey for the Australasian Super Welterweight Title. Yeah. Obviously, I guess, how's the build up going for that? Just in terms of, obviously, where you're not too far away really now when you look at the time. And...
Yeah. It's not that far away at all. Yeah, look, we're excited. We got a game plan. We're sticking to it. So we're trying new things out, and everything's going just as well as it can be. Really, we're leaving no stone unturned. We've been training hard. Changed up the training camp a little bit as well. So I'm happy with it, how everything's going so far. Dale's doing Dale Phillips, my boxing coach, Big Rig. He's doing an amazing job of keeping everyone on track. So yeah, like I'm ready. I feel good. I feel confident. Fano is a experienced opponent. He's had 30, or I don't know how many amateurs, but he's had a plethora of amateur fights, as well as professional fights also. So I think it's a good step up in my career to be actually tested, and I've got utmost respect for him. So, we're just two guys. That's just business at the end of the day, and that's it.
The experience gap is something I was going to touch on. Obviously, as you said, he's got a fair number of amateur bouts as well as professional bouts under his belt. How do you how do you combat that? Is it just a matter of just as you said, picking a game plan, or is it something you've got to sort of be a bit more wary of, particularly if it goes in obviously the later rounds or
Yeah, look, like to be honest, like I've seen him fight and stuff like that. He's talented. He's a good fighter. He's tough and he's hungry when he fights. So we've got a game plan. We're working on it, and we're gonna not give too much away, but we're gonna I think this will be the fight that I'll be able to properly showcase what I can actually do as well as a fighter. So, but no, it doesn't concern me at all about the experience or whatnot. At the end of the day, we're both professional boxers. We both should be training hard. We both should be 100% prepared and ready for this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, with that being said, obviously you're not looking past this fight or anything, but and then you said before you don't have, I guess, a heap of like set goals. You're trying to sort of see where it goes, but what would be the next, like the ideal next step or next couple of steps? Post fight.
Yeah, look. The next steps. Obviously, I'm 100% just invested into this fight, and just really focused on this one here. So I haven't thought too much ahead. And I said this in previous interviews that I had in my last fight as well. I set small goals. So obviously, this next goal that I have is September 1st. But after that, I'm obviously looking to go expand and probably go over east and maybe get on to some other shows over east and just build the name up a little bit, but all in good time. I mean, Tony knows what he's doing. He's managed me. He's done a very good job so far. So as long as my team, as in my coach, Big Rig, Tony, and a few other people are 100% confident for me to go to that next step, then I'm 100% confident with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Got to put you in a good like a good peace of mind having someone like Tony, like with just his experience and his I guess knowledge and everything of what it takes, and got to help surely.
Yeah, definitely. It's been amazing working with him, and obviously he has quite a few big ticket fighters, like Jason and Andrew Baloney, under his management. You got Vegas Larfield as well, who's an upcoming as well that he also manages. So there's quite a few guys under his management. So it gives you confidence knowing that you're with someone that knows what they're doing. That is has your best interest at heart and wants to see you succeed as well, which is great. It's fantastic feeling to have.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And just the last thing, something we ask everyone that gets on. What's, I guess, one piece of advice or lesson that you've learned in your experience coming through, or that you could pass on to somebody if they were watching and thinking about getting involved?
Yeah, look, the best advice, and it's pretty cliche, and you've probably already heard it before, but you get out of it exactly what you put in. And I didn't realize what that meant until I started training boxing, really, because at the end of the day, if you don't give your 100% in the training session and say you only give 60% or 50% in the training session, that's how you're going to fight on the night. You're only going to fight at 50%. So pretty much that's all I can say, is that if you're determined, you're dedicated, and you want to pursue a professional boxing career, amateur boxing career, you just want to get involved in boxing, as long as you're 100% and you're 100% want to give your heart to it and train and do all the hard work and do all the runs and all the crappy stuff, then you're going to be all sweet.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all I've got. for tonight. Obviously, I'll be tuning in on September 1st. Obviously, check out the fight, and hopefully all goes well for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it, mate.
Absolutely, man. And once again, appreciate jumping on, and we'll talk again, I'm sure.
Awesome. No worries. Thank you so much, man. Take
Cheers,
it
man.
easy.
Have a good one. Cheers.
You too. Yeah.